Welcome to College Recruiting Unlocked, the game behind the game. I'm your host, Coach Esprit, and every week, we pull back those curtains and we show you what recruiting really looks like. Today's episode, today is exciting because we're talking about one of the fastest growing sports in America, not football, but ladies flag football. A sport that, just a few years ago wasn't creating college opportunities the way it is today. And my guest is someone who has been right in the middle of that growth. She's a state champion, one of the most productive receivers in the state of Georgia, and she's turned her performance on the field into an opportunity to continue her athletic career on a collegiate level. But what I love the most about her story is that she didn't just sit back and wait for opportunities to appear, to magically appear. She took advantage of the sport that was growing, worked relentlessly, and positioned herself to benefit from it. Pearson, Pettit, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's dive into it. Look, just betting on a new sport in itself, right? So a lot of athletes grow up dreaming, of course, about basketball, softball, volleyball, whatever the case may be. But flag football at that time is, it was relatively new, compared to those sports. When did football become something you truly fell in love with and knew that it was something that you wanted to dive deeper into?
Well, flag football definitely was not on my list of sports. I grew up a competitive gymnast and I did play some soccer. I did some cheer. So in eighth grade, I joined my middle school flag football team and it was not looking too good for me. Like I was fast, which helped, but it was luck if I caught a football. So going into high school, like knowing that about myself, I did not try out my freshman year. And I took that time and I signed up for as many camps as I could. And I went to the field with my dad. And I would pretty much just be out there all day. So that way, when my sophomore year season came, I knew that I had to try out and I had to be my best. I ended up starting both offense and defense. And I actually did not plan to play my sophomore year, like play defense. I was fully offense. Like put me at receiver, I want to stay at receiver. And I was thrown out my first game and at cornerback. I had to wing it, but honestly, I was pretty decent for to just be thrown in. Um, so I think I truly fell in love with the sport when I knew I wanted to work hard and I wanted to feel like I earned the spot that I deserved. So I went to the field every single day, signed up for as many camps as I could, and I knew I wanted to get better.
Awesome. Now, did you realize early on that flag football could become a college opportunity for you?
So my sophomore year, I had two really good seniors on my team, and I remember like them being offered and for them to be able to go play college for flag football. So I knew that if I had that opportunity, that I could continue doing something that I love, that would be amazing. And I did not realize early on until those two seniors were getting that exposure that they deserved.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Now, was there ever a point where you heard people doubt girls flag football? Because I've heard it on my end.
Right.
Doubt girls flag football and that it would even continue to grow.
hmm I did. Someone was always bringing up the fact that girls flag football can't go D1 or it's just smaller schools are just desperate looking for athletes and they're just going to choose whoever they see first.
Right. Yeah. Just hearing you say that, I mean, I've heard some of that, as
hmm
well. It's sad in a way to hear those things when there's another opportunity being created, and let's not even talk about if it's being created for boys or for girls. It's just another opportunity being created, right?
Right.
But even bigger is that it is for girls. It is a sport that has been played for years, by girls, uh, at a little, like a Pop Warner level. It's been played for years.
hmm
No one's ever made it a sport that you could compete collegiately, and to hear
hmm
people negatively come at it
Yeah.
is sad to hear. Now, what made you though, hearing the negativity, what made you stick with it?
Hearing that definitely it made me want to stick with it even more. because I loved playing it, and hearing that so early on in my journey as a sophomore, I was like, I don't care when it is, where it is, the opportunity in general for me to go play in college was such a crazy, like, what if?
Got you. Got you. Now, let's rewind, or I guess a little fast forward, right, into
Mhm.
your high school days of just building that championship program. Your team accomplished something, special by bringing home the state championship. Most people can see the trophy, but very few, get to hold that trophy. So, talk to us a little bit about what it was like to build that championship program, what it was like to build or to win a state championship.
It was truly something special. The only people that really saw what happened behind the scenes was the team itself. I really think that's what made our team such a strong bond and have that program. A few of the girls did not have the same opportunities other girls were given, and we were all on the same team. So when we all had the same opportunity to win a championship, it made us want it even more. So our team does hold a lot of leadership. Me and another senior, Madeline Colley, we hold a lot of leadership, especially because like years prior to it was like my sophomore year, yeah, my first year, we had to hold summer practices and we had to have that accountability to set up drills. She played football years before, so she me and her were definitely dedicated to our team because we didn't have someone dedicated for us. So my freshman year, that team went to the championship. I did not play, I did not try out, but the year I did not try out, they went to the championship. And it helped having those same girls that went their freshman year, our senior year, like want that revenge almost and like want to win for our team. And we just had like combined hunger, like we wanted to win.
Right, right. Nice. I love it. I love it. Now, what kind of set this team apart? What made this team different?
Right. So our team went through a lot. Right before my senior year, we had a coaching change and it was very different for everybody. We all had been through so much and we just really needed a coach that was invested in us. And before the season started, we had a lot of non-mandatory practices. And for us, we saw that as mandatory because we never had that option. It was either no practice or practice. And we had never had a coach, like plus our position coaches, taking their time to set up non-mandatory practices. So we had almost our entire team show up to those non-mandatory practices because we were never given that opportunity. Oh, just you can show up. We're going to be here. Just if you want to show up, we're here. So our entire team would always show up to non-mandatory practices, and it made our chemistry so much better because we had a lot of time together rather than other teams who weren't practicing yet.
Right, right. Makes all the sense in the world. Makes all the sense in the world where you guys ended up too,
Right.
doing that. Now, when was that moment or around that time you just realized that, hey, this team has a chance to win it all?
Honestly, pretty early on in the season. So I would say the middle of the season, we had a very good schedule. We had a lot of competition and a lot of back-to-back games. Our schedule was made very late because of our coaching situation. So we had a lot of tough games and a lot of, oh, we played today, we also played tomorrow and the next day, like very back-to-back. And a
Nice.
specific game that I could really see our team have it in us to win was our region championship. Um, we had lost a couple weeks to the same team. Yeah, we had lost a couple weeks before. The score was 7-6, so we came up short a conversion, and we knew we wanted to win. We had won the region championship my sophomore year, my junior year, and my senior year. I was not going to lose, so I knew I we wanted to win. And um, so a few plays into the game, my coach sends me on a corner, and my quarterback throws an interception, and the other team scores. I always make sure to add that part into the story, not to like throw her under the bus, but because I really think that that was meant to happen. Because when we played them the first time, we were also down a touchdown, and I just had to remind our team like we have been here before. Let's just play. Like we've been here before, we've been down before. They're gonna convert, and we're gonna go play. So after that, it really like set a fire in us, and our quarterback was obviously throwing everything but interceptions the rest of the game as expected. And
Wow.
on the defensive side, we were catching those interceptions and we ended up winning 19-13. So that was a very tough
19
game.
to 13. Love it. Love it. Love it. Now, what do you remember most about the state championship game?
I remember everything about that game, but Something that stands out to me specifically was warm-ups, which is kind of weird, but we were so fired up in warm-ups. Nobody was nervous. Nobody was playing like they were nervous or practicing. We were watching the other team, and honestly, we were just so ready to get out there. And I remember not being nervous, like shockingly, because there have been more like less serious games I've been nervous for. But I think we just knew we were going into it so prepared, and everybody had a job. Everybody knew their job, and all we had to do was execute.
Wow. Wow. Now, let's dive a little deeper into the game now. So, you scored a touchdown, you recorded an interception on the biggest stage. What was going, and you said, I mean, there was no nervousness, right? Those butterflies weren't there like in past games, but what was going through your mind when these things were happening?
So during the touchdown, I actually just remember making sure my quarterback was okay. So if anybody has seen the game, I actually had a stop route, 5 yard turnaround. And as a receiver, I know if my quarterback looks like she's in trouble, I have to flow with the play. So I started to gradually flow to whatever side she was rolling out to. And I ended up being in the end zone. And she threw it up while also being tackled. And then I saw her running to celebrate. So I knew it was all good. I knew she was okay. So then we could all celebrate. During the interception, though, I had a lot of more frustration than like happiness just because I was so ready to take it all away and I was called out of bounds. But
Oh,
my team was happy we got the turnover. I obviously was too. We were all just happy and cheering. I think during that time, especially, we were all having fun because we were up a lot, but we also knew to balance out having fun to lock in. And that's what's so special about our team. Like, we can have fun, yes, but we also know when to lock in and that the job wasn't finished.
yeah, that's awesome. Being able to balance that because
Hmm.
even just watching the Spurs and the New York Knicks play,
Hmm.
it's like the Spurs were a young team, and you can tell they were out there having fun, especially the beginning of the game to get this huge lead. I think they had a huge lead in each and every one of their games, but end up losing
Right.
the championship. But they lost well, three of those games that they had big leads on. So you guys being able to balance that—that's special. That's special in
Hmm.
itself. Now, if I ask your teammates what your role was with that team, what would they say?
I feel like they would say I was a good leader. I personally think I was a good leader. I always kept high energy on the field. You go score a touchdown, I'm running down the field with you. We're gonna celebrate. And I always make sure to pick up my teammates after like their mistakes. Like we know we can yell at each other on the field, fix the mistakes, and after the game, it's all good.
It's all good. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. You're listening to College Recruiting Unlocked, Game Behind the Game. Every year, thousands of athletes miss college opportunities because they don't understand the recruiting process or just don't even know where they are. At Pro 7 Sports Recruiting, we help athletes create exposure, build relationships with coaches, and develop a plan for success because opportunities don't happen by accident, they happen through preparation. Now, let's get back to the show. All right. So, one of the most exciting parts of your story, the most exciting, I think, is that sports open another door for you. You're heading to Wingate University to continue your football career. Take us through your recruiting process.
So for me, recruiting was not easy at all. I had to figure it out all by myself. I did not have coaches putting me out there. I had to go work hard to be able to put myself out there. I had an old Instagram account that I already had a few followers on, so I changed that to my flag football account. And I know Twitter is used a lot for like recruiting and football and stuff, but I did not have that app. I just had an old Instagram account and I went and I followed like all of these colleges. I didn't even know they had flag football. It just said like it said college flag football and it said their university and their team name. And I just started following all of them. And after every game, I would rewatch the film and I would screen record like my clips and I would post them on Instagram. And I would always put like the score of the game, like win or lose, and then who we played against. I never really knew how to caption it, but that's just what I put. And luckily, I always had like my friends and my teammates repost my post, and you never really know who they follow, who could also see that post. So that kind of helped a lot. And I know smaller schools around our area, like colleges, they would come and watch us play. And I remember after one specific game, I was pulled aside by a certain school, and I knew they weren't as big, but I was still super excited. And I ended up getting offered my first offer my the like I think it was the end of my sophomore year. And I never went home with a big head because my dad always taught me to be humble, but I just knew after that one offer that it would help me get a lot of exposure because colleges would see that and they would be like, "Oh, well, she has one offer. Obviously, somebody sees something good in her." So,
Right. So just hearing you talk about your recruiting process, there's a couple of things that I picked up on that number one, you're absolutely right when you talk about that first offer. You know, here at Pro 7 Sports, we always talk about that first offer is what we're looking for. Doesn't matter who it is, doesn't matter
mhm,
what level it is. We're looking for the first offer. That first offer breeds other offers because college coaches are human too. So if I'm scouring, social media and I see there's a young lady that's been offered by a certain school, well, I want to know a little bit more about this person
right.
because someone else thinks they can play college ball. Let me
Mhm.
see if they, and that's all an athlete wants is an opportunity. But today's exposure is different than years ago.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure your dad's spoken about what recruiting used to be. It's nowhere near that anymore. It's all about
Mhm,
exposure. It's about social media. It's about having an email campaign. It's about having a plan, right? And I'm hearing that you had a plan, whether it was some elaborate plan or not. You had a plan of how you were going to get in front of college coaches, and look at you now. So,
look at
so
you now.
kudos, yeah, kudos to you for that. Now, what was your first reaction when college coaches started, showing interest to you?
My first reaction when college coaches started showing that interest in me, it was like, wow, like this is real, this is legit, like the work I'm putting in is paying off. And but I'm not done yet. Like just because colleges see something in me, it won't slow down like the time I put in on the field. Um, it definitely boosted my confidence in parts of me where it was lacking. So just because the offer, it wasn't as big, but it boosted confidence for me on the field.
Yes, yes. That boost of confidence, just knowing that somebody appreciates what you've done,
Hmm.
and I talk to my athletes all the time because there's this moment of silence when nobody talks to you. And that's the worst time as a high school athlete who knows they can compete at the next level and has been told that they can compete at that next level as well, but
Hmm.
nobody's talking to me. That's the worst time. But getting that offer or offers and just knowing that somebody appreciates the work you've put in and
Hmm.
your athletic ability is big time. Now, so tell us this, tell the listeners what made Wingate feel like home for you.
Wingate felt like home when I got to campus and I met up with the coach. I'd spoken to him previously online, and we had our call before I was offered. But really being there on campus and meeting him, it was definitely special. I met a few of the girls too when I got to tour their dorm, and we talked football, and I could just really tell that they really wanted it. And I can see that in someone because of everything I went through in high school and being on a team with girls who really wanted it. And the program just felt real. Like, I say
Mm,
that because I have visited colleges before and it just feels like another high school program. And that's something I don't want because I just left high school to go on and do those bigger and better things. And I want to do those things somewhere it feels bigger and better.
right, absolutely, absolutely. Now, what factors matter most besides football, not even looking at football, what other factors really matter to you?
Mhm. Some factors that really mattered to me besides football and everything was the friendships and stuff on the team. Like, I know it still incorporates with football, but throughout football that's mattered to me because you go through those stuff with a group of people and you just get each other. And I understand some high school friendships come and go, but the people you meet on your team will always stay connected to. And even after football and when football's over, like you still stay connected, you still talk, and you still have those close relationships with them.
Absolutely, absolutely. Some of my still good close friends are my collegiate athletes, are my
Hmm.
collegiate teammates. So what surprised you the most, just talking about recruiting as a whole, what surprised you the most?
Something that surprised me the most about recruiting is that it can be emotionally draining.
Oh,
Maybe some people just think that you can shoot coaches a message and then you give them your film and boom, you get something back, but that is not it at all. There can be very long periods of time where you don't hear back from a coach, or suddenly the school just stops responding to you, and that can be a super draining for someone. And a big one for me too is also comparison. Um, I used to compare myself to a lot of other recruits, and I couldn't help myself but go onto another page of a girl who was posting about the school that she was getting recruited to and the school that I was looking at, and posting my film and looking at her film, comparing it, and being like, okay, well, she was offered from this school. Mine looks pretty similar. Let me get this offer too, real quick. And um, a big thing for me to keep in mind was that you have to have patience because it does not come right away.
Oh gosh, the old saying, patience is a virtue. Recruiting, if you do not have patience, you're going to drive yourself crazy.
Right.
You're absolutely going to drive yourself self crazy. And I heard you say that you compare yourself to other athletes, and that is something that all athletes do. And I
Mhm.
mentioned to you that I train a young lady that plays flag football, and so she's going to UTA, and she definitely started diving in there and seeing who they're signing. Started, oh, I'm better than her. I can do
Oh
this.
yeah.
So it's fun to hear that, and even to hear her say, "I need to do this better. Can we
Mhm.
work on getting this done better?" Because she's seen another young lady that does something pretty special, that she feels that though she's not as good at. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's it's kind of funny in a sense, but it's so true. I mean, even back in my days, I mean, you jump online and you look at the roster and you kind of see what's there and start saying, okay, I can take this, I can do this, I can
Oh
do
yeah.
this type of deal. So that's the competitiveness in all athletes, you know.
Right.
So, now, if you could go back, this one's a little interesting here. So if you can go back, right now, we know you're a 2026 grad, but if you can go back and tell your freshman self, right, one thing about recruiting, what would that be?
First, I would tell my freshman year self that she does make the flag football team her sophomore year because I was not even playing my freshman year. And I would tell her that it all works out and it all pays off in the end.
Absolutely. Now, I want you to know you're a part of something bigger than yourself, right? And you and athletes like you are helping build the future of women's football, because right now it's right on that pinnacle. I mean, it's right there to where it's about to really explode. I mean, D1
Mhm.
programs are now offering it. Other D1 programs have it on their list of sports to offer. So, you know, by knowing that you're helping to build this, right, for the young ladies and women behind you, how does that make you feel?
Growth of flag football has really been the most significant developments in sports. It really has. And it used to be seen as like a recreational sport or whatever. And now with it being a competitive sport with the opportunities at college levels, and I've really been blessed to see it firsthand. I coached a flag football rec team, and it's so fun seeing the younger girls start where they are, like love the sport at such a young age, and just knowing that there are the opportunities that they have down the road, and they have many of them.
Yes, indeed. Now, where do you see, we're going to put your future goggles on right here. Where do you see girls flag football 5 years from now?
In 5 years from now, I see it as one of the fastest growing sports, especially with its involvement in the Olympics in 2028, I think it is. And colleges going Division I and stuff, I believe that the sport will continue to grow and gain recognition and create more opportunities for many athletes around the world.
Yes, yes, yes. Now, what would you say to young girls who think football may not be for them? What would be your pitch to them?
Well, I would just say flag football is not for certain people, you're right, but it is for people who are willing to work, are willing to put the time in and compete. And the sport is growing every year, and there are many opportunities that exist now that did not exist a few years ago for me. So if you're curious, just give it a chance and you never know where it might take you.
Awesome. So before we wrap up, I want to. We always do this on our shows. Want to drop some gems, here and there. I want to leave our audience with some game, is what we like to call it here. So I'm going to leave our audience with 3 recruiting tips today, and those are: number one, don't wait for opportunities. please, please, please stop waiting. Stop waiting for someone to magically appear and offer you a scholarship. You have to prepare for them. And when I say prepare, I mean academically, athletically, and develop a plan. You have to have a recruiting plan. If you do not have a plan, you're going to get left behind. Number two, be coachable. This is something that being coachable is somewhat natural, should become natural for athletes, but it's not always natural, right? You know, you have to be more coachable than you are talented. Sometimes talent will put you in a situation, but being non coachable will get you out of it. So be coachable. Number three, find a way to stand out academically and athletically. Don't focus on one lane, right? Focus on standing out as a student athlete. Your GPA screams a lot about who you are. And it figures out whether or not a college coach wants to even have a conversation with you, because if you can't get in through admissions with a low GPA, there's no need to have a conversation. So that dead time of silence will be even longer, right? Now, Pearson, if let's say a 12-year-old girl is listening right now, listening to the show and dreams of playing college flag football, what advice would you give her to keep her motivated?
My biggest piece of advice is to believe in yourself before anyone else does. People will tell you that football is not for girls, or that you're too small, or that you're not big enough, or you're not good enough, but don't let those opinions decide of what you're capable of. Work hard, show up, be coachable. Because I never imagined I would be a state champion and have the opportunity to go play flag football in college. And so if you have a dream, don't let anyone tell you it's impossible.
You heard it here first. I mean, if you have a dream, go for it. Go for it. Don't let anybody hold you back. Love that. I love that. Now, what do you think separates a good athlete from great athletes?
Some things that separate good athletes from great athletes are consistency for sure. Good
Mhm.
athletes, they'll work hard and show up just when they're motivated, but great athletes will work hard when they're tired, when they're busy, when they're unmotivated, and especially being coachable. Like you've said, good athletes want to show coaches what they already know, but great athletes want to learn what they don't already know, or they want to learn how to get better at what they do already
Yes, yes, and yes.
know.
Consistency. Yeah. The people that know me know that word, I love that
Hmm.
word because, and some people get it. When you say consistent, they think something that you have to be consistent in that is good. You can be consistent in something that is boring to help you. Like it's
Hmm.
boring to wake up early in the morning to get a workout. It is boring to come back from a long day of school and work out. It's not. Those that are excited about those opportunities will be special people, period. But for most people, that's not the most exciting. The exciting part is playing games, winning, scoring a touchdown, having great moments in a game. Those only come with consistency,
Hmm.
behind the scenes. So what habit helped you, the most in your journey?
It's funny we were talking about consistency because I believe that consistency truly did help me. That was a big habit. There were days where I was motivated and there was days that I wasn't, but I wanted to show up to practice, workouts, games, and be there for my team because there was a time that nobody was there for us. And there were also times I was never satisfied at where I was. And you have to be consistent in order to find ways to improve on that.
Mm, consistency. Love that word. I may say that word quite a few times today. You got me going now. So, how do you want, Pearson, how do you want people to remember your impact in, Harris County when it comes to a student athlete?
People think about my time at Harris County and the flag football program, I really hope they remember me as someone who like gave everything to the program and to the team, and I hope my leadership is remembered for sure, and my work ethic and the way I encouraged others. And more than any kid's touchdown or championship, I want to be remembered for helping my teammates grow and showing the youth and the younger, especially the athletes that I coached, what's possible when you're committed to your goals.
Love it. Thank you, Pearson, for taking time today to jump on our show and talk a little flag football. It was absolute pleasure getting to meet you, and I wish you nothing but success moving forward.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. I want to let our listeners know, because I didn't get an opportunity to say this. You had an opportunity to join our NIL webinar, and you were one of the ones, one of the 4 out of many that you were chosen to be spotlighted, and that's kind of how our paths have crossed here. And it's been a pleasure jumping on this call with you to hear some more about your story and where you're headed. And I will keep my eyes on Wingate University flag football team. Uh, so on your ups and downs, I'm a coach that loves to talk about ups, but I'll talk about your downs too.
Oh yeah.
I'll put them on blast, but I'll also leave you with some positivity after that. But I love talking sports. I get to do it all day, every day. I get to wake up in the morning, turn my TV on Sports Center, and talk about sports all day. So this was a pleasure, absolute pleasure. So Pearson Pettit has proven that opportunities don't always come from traditional paths. They just don't, right? Sometimes they're created by athletes that are willing to step into something new, work hard, stay committed, stay consistent, and then you achieve goals like state champion, college athlete, and you become a leader, right? And one of the young women helping shape the future of flag football is on our podcast show here today. Pearson, thank you again for joining and sharing your story with us. We really appreciate it.
It was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. To everyone listening, remember this. The next opportunity in sports may not look like the last one, right? It may not look like someone else's path, but stay prepared, stay coachable, and keep showing up. This has been College Recruiting Unlocked, the game behind the game. I'm Coach Spree, and always remember to give your best. BES, belief plus execution, will always equal success. Peace.